shoot at him, bro. That what you messed up at. You didn't have to shoot.
1, you could go out there and crush garbage competition. 2, you could play on some Julian Newman-ass high school team and chuck up BS all game long. And 3, you can be a complete anomaly of a talent. Now,
let's get you, bro. Chris Bell in the video. Y'all film today. We got Mikey Williams somehow get worse. What the freak is going on with this man, Mikey Williams, bro? Like, I don't know what's going on with bro. Bro need to get right, bro. I don't know, bro had the shooting allegations and all that. You gotta stop. Whatever from his subscribe button, like, my colors. I ran to it.
Williams has gone from poster dunks in packed arenas to air balls and blickies. At one point in time, Mikey Williams had the world in his hands. From a signature shoe in high school, millions of dollars, and a cakewalk into the NBA as the top recruit in the country. Fast forward to today, and Mikey Williams is scoring 2 points per game on 30% shooting from the field at the college level. What in the world is going on? Well, when Mikey blew up originally, a lot of it fell not on his shoulders, but Bronny James. Playing alongside Bronny on the LeBron James coached Blue Chips AAU team, Mikey Williams was better than Bronny at his own position by a landslide, having clearly matured much younger. Mikey had the highlights to back his game, standing at just 6'1", but already finishing strong above the rim. Mikey was pretty showtime. He had air control, he had a built frame for his age, and he was dominating at his level. But when he got to high school, he absolutely turned it up. In his first game of high school basketball, Mikey went out there and dropped 46 points at 15 years old. The very next game, Mikey went out and dropped 50. With a 48-point average as a freshman, it shouldn't be a surprise that with his play style, this guy was must-see TV. He'd played since he was a kid. He had a smooth handle on the ball with a very natural feel for getting to the basket. And with advanced verticality, strength, and decent length, and like I said before, some insane control in the air, Mikey was dunking everything as a 6'5" freshman. He began to rack up accolades like Max Prep's Freshman of the Year, and even broke the California state record with 77 points in a single game as a freshman.
Hey yo, didn't LaMelo have that? Or did LaMelo? No, LaMelo did have that. Oh wait.
Averaging a 30 ball for the season, there was a few things that were clear in his game. Obviously, he was dominating due to his physical gifts, but his skill set wasn't lagging too far behind. He was a natural scorer by all definitions. But really, to reach the levels of success that he did at this age, there needs to be a combination of factors. 1, you could go out there and crush garbage competition. 2, you could play on some Julian Newman-ass high school team and chuck up BS all game long. And 3, you can be a complete anomaly of a talent. Now, I'm not going to tie Mikey Williams in with Julian Newman because Mikey Williams is completely in another stratosphere. Mikey wasn't exactly a generational talent either, and let me explain why. Scoring 77 in a night is impressive no matter how you want to put it. I'm not going to discredit that or even discredit his ranking as a 5-star recruit, but Mikey's team wasn't exactly incredible, nor was their competition, and this allowed Mikey to take the shots to even get to that point. Mikey's game was extremely developed for his age. He was a shifty and crafty guard that could score very well inside with a serviceable jump shot. Still impressive, but a lot of developmental years away from the next step. Mikey at times was playing a lot of ugly basketball, which is a lot like Julius Randle on my Minnesota Timberwolves. But now that he's on the bench, I've been looking to find some deals to get down to the Target Center and see the Ant-Man go crazy. Which is why after harsh COVID protocols in his home state of California, Mikey bounced to play alongside better competition at Lake Norman Christian alongside other Division I talent. As you can expect, Williams saw a statistical decline from nearly 30 points per game down to 21, as with more talent around him, he was playing closer to what you'd expect a 5-star's system to look like. But even at that, there's nothing usual about Mikey Williams. His fame was absolutely skyrocketing, reaching a combined 5 million followers across TikTok and Instagram. Every time Williams played at a tournament or showcase, there were insane crowds. Grown adults screaming for pictures and autographs, said former coach Patrick McCarthy. McCarthy remembers Williams trying to accommodate his fans whenever possible, but sometimes the crowds were too big and he had to sneak out the back door. We had to get him different protocols so he could even make it to the car, said McCarthy. Mikey was close to a mainstream celebrity. He was getting security protection to play high school basketball games, hanging out with Drake and NBA YoungBoy, all while being one of the originators to take NIL money to its absolute limit, presumably cashing out to the tune of millions of dollars. Mikey elevated his play to 23 points per game in the following season as a junior, and according to his trainer, there wasn't a day that he didn't see Williams working out, and it was 2 to 3 times a day. Then sprints. Really, this guy was at the top of the world. Puma had just signed this fucking high schooler, making him the first kid to sign with a global sports brand in high school, while he was talking about being worth $1 billion before 25 years old. Everything seemed to be going according to the plan that seemed so simple, yet the true treasure at the end of the treasure map was slowly drifting further out of sight. Mikey's ranking in high school had fallen significantly, from a 5 to a 4-star recruit, now outside of the top 30 in his class. And although in a way these are meaningless numbers, the scout speculation on his game had shifted to a completely different tone. After physically maturing young, Mikey really doesn't look too different from his high school freshman days other than a few arm sleeves. And with somewhat of a plateau and some of his pain points, namely his facilitating and jump shot, Mikey wasn't exactly the dominating force that he once appeared to be. To stand out at 6'1", you generally need to have arms down to the floor, or a skill set that really blows the competition out of the water. It was clear from the get-go that Mikey's standout skill was going to be his athleticism, but really, it wasn't to the point where he was generating easy buckets at will, nor was he using it to help him as a defender. In fact, Mikey's defensive game was complete dog water. Upon returning to San Diego for his senior season, to the same team he started his high school career at, Williams had a bit of a disappointing season at 23 points per game. Really, I don't think this was the worst season in the world, given that he was throwing out 9 assists a night, and at least trying to improve in an area that was shaky for him, but on the defensive side of the ball, you really did not see that same effort. Local team Carlsbad High School had reportedly studied some film prior to their matchup, where the whole team would laugh at the lack of defensive effort coming from Mikey, and upon matching up with him, Carlsbad was able to generate plenty of offense by targeting Williams specifically, where he was easy to catch flat-footed. The Carlsbad head coach summed it up perfectly, saying it felt like he was kind of just going through the motions. It felt like he was into his persona more than he was into the actual season. From 5 to 4-star, and from the best 14-year-old in the country to the 30th ranked player in his class, Mikey had taken a severe hit in terms of his recruiting perception. Did it matter for say? No. He could still play for any school in the country, but it's notable the way that he matched up with his competition was nowhere near it once was. The lack of effort defensively was a terrible look, that's for sure. And to crack an NBA roster someday, which I'd assume is and always has been the goal, that's not exactly an option. It's unfortunate that Mikey didn't really grow at all. He peaked early and stayed around the same size. To say that he didn't work hard or something like that is probably incorrect. I'm sure that at the end of the day, this kid still loves basketball a lot, even if not as pure of a love as it was before the money and fame, but after the money and after the fame, it became apparent that he felt more comfortable slacking a bit. I mean, I can't blame him. If I'm 17 with more money than any of the parents in the stands, that's an experience that really nobody has ever experienced, and coming from living in a small apartment to assumably living where he pleased is going to do a ton to a kid who didn't have a chance to grow up. Despite the statistical regression, Mikey still had the ball in his court in terms of college selections. He had offers from schools like Arizona, but likely to have a chance to play under coach Penny Hardaway, Mikey took his talents to Memphis. Up to this point, it was really up to him to turn around the trajectory of his career while he was still alive. But at this point is where Mikey made the decision that buried his future severely. Mikey found himself in serious legal trouble, facing 9 felony gun charges after allegedly firing shots at trespassers on his property. According to the county sheriff's department, the incident unfolded after guests at his house were asked to leave, sparking a heated argument. Enraged by their unexpected presence, Mikey allegedly threatened to shoot them. As they drove away, he reportedly fired a handgun at their vehicle, shattering the rear windshield and damaging the trunk.
And you see, bro, that's where you messed up at, bro. Because at the end of the day, if they were going away, bro, and you knew them or whoever, bro, why did you shoot at them, bro? That where you messed up at. You didn't have to shoot. Freak you shooting for that? You shooting at you for, bro? Like,
though no one was injured, 5 people, 3 of them minors, were inside when the shots rang out. The fallout was massive. Mikey was arrested on April 13th, 2023, and pleaded not guilty to all charges, which carried a potential 30-year prison sentence. While his University of Memphis teammates took the court for their season opener, Mikey remained in California awaiting a jury trial set for mid-December. I mean, this guy's looking at fucking prison time, while his basketball career is in a way free-falling. From the heights he was at, this is one of the most catastrophic falls I've ever seen. scene.
bro.
Luckily for Mikey, the charges would be dropped with community service and Williams would be cleared to play once again. Now Mikey, although cleared, wasn't exactly given the okay to get back out on the courts, as given his position as a player skill-wise, mixed with his character questioning legal issues, Mikey was left on the bench for the remainder of the season, and for that reason would take his talents down the ladder of programs to UCF. Central Florida isn't exactly pumping out NBA talent like Memphis is, it just isn't that caliber of school. Williams clearly realized that benchwarming a school like Memphis wasn't going to give him the chance to revive his career like putting up bigger numbers at a smaller school would. So now, as a 20-year-old college freshman, Williams is in the position to revive his career. And let's just say this isn't exactly the case. At 3 points per game on 32% shooting at the moment, Mikey doesn't look able to survive at the collegiate level, and it's clear to see why. When on the playing field where his physical gifts aren't head and shoulders above his competition, Mikey doesn't have the skill set to compete. He didn't improve or diversify his game the way that he should, and now when matching up with guards who can do the same thing as him physically, it really exposes that when he isn't blowing by you, he's an inefficient score-first player who doesn't shoot the ball as well as other D1 points, and has never proven to be bought in as a defensive talent despite having the tools to do so. The skill issues mixed with the character questions created a story that sure as hell writes its own ending, and it's not going to be in the NBA unless something really changes here. Could you say that Mikey killed his own career? I mean, there's truth to it. Obviously, firing a handgun at a car full of minors is a mistake that makes you easier to comb through when it comes to picking guys at the next level, but given his lack of growth as a player, it could be safe to assume with all the money in the world in a young kid's pocket, Mikey felt fine hitting the cruise control button. With the world of opportunity, it gets easier to settle with more than the average person could dream of. And in the case of Mikey Williams, that might be the final page of his book.
There's a driver from a small town in Georgia who walked away with $80,000 after their car accident last month. If you're going...
It's over, bro.
Mikey Williams.
Oh, well, bro. If he didn't shoot that gun, he would have been probably okay, bro. And if he would have put all the effort in that he needed to put in to become a collegiate level NFL, I said NFL, NBA superstar, he'd have done that work. So, ultimately, all his decisions, ultimately his demise. He got it at a young age. He got it. I was gone. But your family, that's about CristoReacts out.
And I need me to do. If I ain't get paid, I ain't doing the show. Shit, I'm finna